Welcome back to my channel. I'm James. Today we're going to be reviewing and deep diving into Puss in Boots: The Last Wish on 4K Ultra HD in the Collector's Edition 4K set here. Now this was sent to me and I got it in a week and a half early for review. So this will give you plenty of time to decide if this is worth buying and adding to your collection, or if you should skip the movie altogether. And at the end, as always, I wrap it up with my review score. Now we're gonna start off with the Blu Ray image here that's pulled directly from the native image that's on the Blu Ray disc. Now, as always, this is something I exclusively do here on my YouTube channel, where I do these exclusive image comparisons that compare the Blu Rays to the 4K release to show you the native images on both of these, how it looks in comparison, to show you side by side which one of these is the one you should either buy and own, or whether you should, like I said, skip this altogether. Now, there is some big differences between them, and there were some noticeable things when I sat down doing the native images side by side and looking at them, as you'll notice when we're going through this review. Now, I did just want to mention that you make sure to go down and give this video a like and a thumbs up. If you enjoy all of this content and the hard work I do, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I release a lot of these reviews way before the release dates because a lot of these studios send me things early for review, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So that way I can do all my testing and exclusive analysis and get all these reviews out to you before the release dates. So you're never going to want to miss out on any of this early or exclusive content that you're only ever going to find here on my YouTube channel. So make sure to go down, give this video a like and a thumbs up for me, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. Now, talking about some of the differences before I get into my thoughts on the film here about what you see in the images. Now, this new 4K does have HDR10 on it. And I will say the HDR10 use on the 4K is really impressive for the animation style and how beautiful the animation is on this film. Now, I've done the previous Puss in Boots review on 4K here on this YouTube channel, and that's available right now if you want to go check out and watch that review after you get done with this video. I did the previous Puss in Boots that was before this, but it's a different animation style that they went for with The Last Wish. They're trying more of a kind of mixture between like 3D computer effects with kind of a more hand-drawn, almost painted look for a lot of the backgrounds and imagery in it. And it really looks beautiful in this. I will say it really impressed me how when I saw the original trailer, I kind of thought, man, I'm not sure what I thought about the actual like animation style. When you actually sit down and watch the film, there's details and depth in that image, but also there's some really beautiful like painted imagery that just looks amazing in this film, and it's one of the prettiest looking animated films I have seen, and I have seen them all. And I will tell you, as far as the film goes itself, I loved Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Now, I know I'm kind of digressing here into my thoughts about the film, but I want to touch on that a little bit as I'm kind of going through the images as well. The film itself is a really wonderful film that I did not expect to enjoy it nearly as much as I did. It really was a surprising and shocking experience. Now, I liked the previous Puss in Boots that I did the review on before, and I've liked all of the Shrek films. Now, I've done the previous Shrek review as well. If you want to check out that on 4K, I've done a 4K versus Blu Ray image comparison on that. And I enjoy those films. I really think they're good films. I did not expect the level of storytelling that really hit a sensitive mark in this film that it does. And whether you decide to get the Blu Ray or the 4K, this film itself needs to be seen. It is one of my favorite and one of the best animated films of the year. It does a beautiful job of telling a story of basically redemption, forgiveness, trusting others, learning to trust again, and then going into the sense of death and our mortality. And that's where I will say it's a very surprising movie and experience, because there's a lot of things in this that a lot of kids, and my kids didn't understand, and a lot of kids won't grasp, but as an adult, you will. And it really hits home that the writers of this did an amazing job integrating comedy and humor, but keeping the story focused around the idea of things that adults could relate to, which is where I feel like great animated films really dive into, where kids enjoy it, but there's an amazingly deep and just heartfelt story for adults that keeps us as adults engaged and interested in the film the entire time. See, the thing I've struggled with over the years is I have 3 kids myself, 3 boys, and as most of you know, I've watched all of the animated films as they come out. My kids love watching them, and some of them I will say, if most of you are parents or you know what I mean, some animated films you kind of sit there and you're kind of on your phone, dozing off, half paying attention. It kind of seems like some of the animated films just don't really hold your attention as an adult. This is one of those films that really shocked and surprised me because it kept my attention the entire time. There was no time I found myself staring off into the distance, thinking of other things, not paying attention. It was so beautifully animated, well written. The characters' dialogue, the music, everything in it is simply beautifully, amazingly well done. And that is why if you have not checked out this film, even if you've checked out the previous Shrek movies or the previous Puss in Boots, this one will blow you away with how good of a film it is, better than any, in my opinion, of the previous Puss in Boots or him in the Shrek movies. Even some of the Shrek movies, I enjoyed this better than those, and that was surprising to me overall. So as far as the film comes just on its own, the film comes highly recommended that you check this out because the film is definitely worth your time. Now going back to the HDR10 that's implemented on this. Now that's where the difference between the Blu Ray that you've been watching up above with these image comparisons and the 4K drastically made a difference. The HDR10 implementation on this, because of the animation style, there is some areas in it where it literally looks like the whole thing's hand painted with these beautiful colorful mosaics, and because of the wider color gamut that's available through the HDR10 that is not available on the Blu-ray, it really just shines through so beautifully well on this. That is a shocking viewing experience looking at how beautifully gorgeous it looks on this. And how the Blu-ray, yes, the Blu-ray looked decent, but man, when you see them side by side, it is a stunningly beautiful and shockingly beautiful experience on this 4K release that the HDR10 implementation on this was just so well done that it does make the Blu-ray look really poor in comparison to the HDR10 presentation. Now keep in mind, as always, the image you see above for this 4K image, it is the native image that's pulled from the disc, but it is dumbed down from HDR10 to standard HDR because of YouTube's algorithm, as I've explained over the years hundreds of times. YouTube's algorithm does not allow HDR10 or Dolby Vision native images. They're always dumbing them down to standard HDR. So what you see above for Puss in Boots up there in comparison to that Blu-ray, when you see those differences, it will look drastically better in HDR10 on your home display, especially if you have it professionally calibrated and correctly calibrated. I've talked about that a lot over the years. It's very important to get the best out of your home cinema, your 4K TV and your 4K player. One, that you have a 4K TV and player that can present HDR10, 10 Plus, and Dolby Vision, and that you get them correctly and professionally calibrated. There's a lot of things that come from the manufacturers that are on those TVs and players that are not done correctly and drastically make a difference on what you see. And a lot of the times it's like, wiping Vaseline off your screen all of a sudden once you get it professionally calibrated and you see how much of the native image you're not really seeing because your TV was not calibrated correctly. You tried to do it yourself and yeah, you kind of thought you did a good job based on some things you saw online. But when you have it professionally calibrated, it will make a night and day difference, and it is well worth your time to get that done. But on the images itself, what you'll notice with that HDR10 image is, because up here you're seeing standard HDR, what you see with that 4K image will look brilliantly better and more vibrant with the wider color gamut, the HDR10 implementation, the lights to darks. There was no black crush present on this. And it does have inky blacks and brilliant whites, but like I said, that black crush wasn't present. Now do keep in mind, some people might be a little confused with the animation style in this because some of it appears to be hand-drawn. It's not, but it appears to look that way. Some of the scenes do have like jagged drawings in them. That is not digital noise or blocking. That is actually the animation style itself. There was no digital noise and there was no blocking in this present. And that is something I've seen misreported as well in a lot of people's assumptions of not understanding the animation style they used. The actual animation style is supposed to look in some instances where the background's behind them, and some of even in the instances of when it would like slow down time and things, they're supposed to be like a kind of jagged hand-painted look That's not something wrong. That's specifically the animation style. I think it's beautiful. I think it's so cool how they implemented it into this film. I'm excited to see them use it going forward in future films. And I think as an artist myself, as most of you know, I've worked on comic books for numerous of the major publishers over the years. And it's something as an artist myself, I really appreciated the art style they did in this, and I think it beautifully looks great. But it's not something wrong with this. As always, I try to make sure to share those things so you understand what you're looking at when you watch this film. No digital noise, no black crush, and no blocking was present throughout this entire presentation on 4K Ultra HD. And it looked stunningly good with that HDR10, drastically better than the Blu Ray. Now, there was another huge surprise on this 4K Ultra HD release. It came with English Dolby Atmos. And let me tell you, the Dolby Atmos on this was a real treat and a fun and enjoyable mix. It was a really amazing use of moving the sound around the room. Overhead was used great in this. There were some really surprising things that'll make a smile creep across your face. When you hear some of the effects going overhead of you with this Dolby Atmos mix, that really surprised me because I didn't get to see this in theater, so I'm watching it here on my home cinema. Now, if you have not gotten into Dolby Atmos yet, you really need to get yourself a good Dolby Atmos home theater setup. Now, I previously did a huge review video testing out numerous Dolby Atmos home theater setups. If you haven't checked out that video yet, you're really going to want to check out that. It goes into how to get yourself a reference quality Dolby Atmos home setup on a budget. And I will tell you, it used those overheads greatly to great effect with this Dolby Atmos mix. It also had some great use of LFE, which sounded really good on it, and it had some great highs, some great lows. The moving the sound around, there's so many different effects in this that for an animated film, it had an amazing Dolby Atmos mix that really did surprise me. And like I said, it lended to adding to the cool factor of why this release was so well done and really surprised me overall, because I didn't expect Puss in Boots to be this good of a film, nor to sound that cool with that Dolby Atmos mix. But I will tell you, when you're sitting down and watching this, especially if you have a good Dolby Atmos setup like what I talked about in that review video, you know, I've got my clips, speakers, and things like that. Man, when you could hear that stuff going overhead, you know, the stars flying above and the different things, the effects of things flying over and things like that, just really was a cool effect and really lended to why this was such a cool 4K that I did not expect what I got out of this. Now, showing you what you get in this, it does come in a collector's edition set. I really liked the slipcover. Talks about you get an all new short in this. I like the slipcover. It is embossed. It has shiny little gold pieces and basically shiny silver on it. On the side, it does say Puss in Boots, and this does match the similar Puss in Boots I did the previous review on. So on the slipcover, it does match on your bookcase. Keep in mind though, Universal does a similar thing that most studios do. These slipcovers are only printed in the first pressings. After that, they don't print them with them, and you'll get it without the slipcover. So depending on when you're watching this review, will depend on whether you get this slipcover or not. On the back, it does talk about it. You do get a Movies Anywhere digital copy code of the 4K, minus obviously your special features. And there is a bunch of special features. You get your new short called The Trident, which was very enjoyable. I did think it was really cute. Deleted scenes, behind the scenes, a cast of characters, and many more special features. Then, when you get inside here, you do get your Blu Ray disc, which is a BD50. Your 4K Ultra HD disc is a BD66, and as always, they exclusively test everything. Both discs in this set are 100% region free. So no matter where you live worldwide, as always, I put the direct links from Amazon in the description section right below this video and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. So if you decide you want to buy this, no matter where you live worldwide, in the US, Canada, France, England, I know I have a lot of audience from all over the world. Those links I posted down below will ship this exact set anywhere worldwide, and both discs are 100% region free. Now, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish has a very fast-paced runtime. It's about 103 minutes, so it was plenty of room for the content that they put on this disc. Now, I did do my rough average bitrate testing as well. I know a lot of you ask about that, and a lot of you enjoy that. I did dive into the 4K disc on this. Now, this had a rough average bitrate of a healthy 64 megabits per second. Now, It's not going to knock your socks off and be something that was in the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, but 64 is a healthy and decent rough average bitrate. Overall, 64 is a decent rough average bitrate, and it lends to why the image was nice throughout it. Now, I will say overall, because it's an animated film, with animated films, there's only so much depth and detail they have in those files to begin with. But the 4K versus that Blu Ray, you can notice a difference in the details, and even like Puss's like fur and things like that. They are drastically more detailed. You can see so much more in the backgrounds and more of the details in that animation that is lacking on the Blu Ray, which is a nice appreciable thing I did enjoy about this. That lends to why the 4K looks drastically better than the Blu Ray did. Now, like I was mentioning at the beginning of this review, the film really does surprise me about some of the depth that the film actually goes to in the writing and the story. I mean, really going into, without spoiling it here, but our death and mortality in life. And done in a beautiful way of making us really comprehend and think about ourselves is a surprising thing I did not expect from a kid's animated, or thought was a kid's animated film. It really did have some things that I said, a lot of kids, it went over my kids' heads and they didn't understand that part of it, but they were enjoying the film anyways along the way. But as an adult, it really had some adult themes, some adult storyline that really makes you think, and it will grab at your heartstrings. I was surprised, let me say it again, I was really surprised at how good Puss in Boots: The Last Wish really was, and as a written film, it's a wonderful film and my favorite animated film of the last several years. That's how good this was. Now, getting to my review score of the 4K Ultra HD release, this collector's edition 4K set of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This gets an amazing 9.4. This is a must-buy. Just the film alone, with how gorgeous it looks with the HDR10 presentation, the Dolby Atmos mix on this was really enjoyable. I was really surprised at how good it was for an animated film, and I know I've said that a lot, but really I'm trying to get my point across with that is it really is a surprising thing that I did not expect. I didn't expect this to be something that I thought was that amazing, and it really is. It's an amazing release of an amazing film that I enjoyed watching, and I'm going to enjoy watching again. That's how good this was. You'll sit back with your family, whoever it is you want to sit with, watch this film, enjoy it. It'll touch all of your hearts. You'll walk away saying, I was surprised at how good of an animated film this was, how well it was written, and how much I want to see the next one, if they do any more with this animation style, is really enjoyable to watch. And as you've noticed with those images above, remember that standard HDR you see with those 4K images, man, does it pop and look amazing in HDR10. What you see there doesn't even do it justice to when you get this and you put this on your home display, especially, as I said, if you have a high-end, professionally calibrated 4K display and 4K player. You know, I use the Panasonic UB820. As always, I link the exact equipment I use in the description section right below every single video. I've reviewed all of them before as well here on this channel. That Panasonic UB820 is a must-have. Everybody needs to own one of those as their 4K players. Get it set up properly. It displays these images beautifully, and in this one with my TV, I love my LG OLED G2 Gallery Edition. It's absolutely wonderful. Looks amazing with this film. It's a professionally calibrated display as well. Let me tell you, the professional calibration on that made a big difference as well. But the HDR10 on this is one of those that I think was really well done. Definitely made the Blu Ray look poor because the HDR with those brilliant colors coming out, that's all I can really say is it just pops so gorgeously, and the color range with HDR is so much better on this than it is on the Blu Ray. This is the one you must buy. This is the one you must own. This comes extremely highly recommended for the movie alone, but this 4K release was a great release as well. 9.4, a must buy to buy and add to your collection. Make sure to start that conversation in the comment section below and let me know if you've seen this film yet. I'm really curious how many of you adults actually gave this a chance and saw the film yet, because this is one as an adult I was pleasantly surprised and really enjoyed. So I want to know, what of you adults have seen this as well and enjoyed the film itself? Let me know if you're excited now to buy this on 4K here in about a week and a half when it comes out. As I said at the beginning, this is an early review. I did get this in a full week and a half before the release date, so I've been working very hard over the last week to get this out to you plenty of time in advance so that all of you know about this, so you can pre-order it or buy it on release date depending on when you're watching this video. Now, if you decide you're gonna buy this and add this to your collection now, make sure to use those links I've posted right down in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. As always, I post those down there below. They never cost you a penny extra when you click on those, and it's on sale for the same prices everywhere. But that does help to support this YouTube channel just a tiny bit. So make sure if you're gonna buy Puss in Boots after you've heard my review score and seen my review, make sure to click through those links I've posted in the description section and as a pinned comment in the comment section below. As always, I work really hard to constantly provide all this content for all of you. Make sure if you enjoy all these exclusive image comparisons and all of these early reviews that I work very hard to create for all of you, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club. It always costs you less than a couple of dollars each month, so basically less than the price of a cup of coffee. But you get things like VIP Club member badges, you get special VIP Club voting, there's special VIP Club videos and early access to videos, and there's tons of perks you get for joining the Collectors VIP Club. But that drastically makes a difference in the creation of these videos as well. You see, I'm not paid and I'm not sponsored by anybody other than you, my viewers and subscribers. So it makes a difference. If you enjoy this content that I constantly work hard to provide for all of you, make sure to join my Collectors VIP Club or give a super thanks to the super thanks button down below. The super thanks button right below this video is just a button you click on. It lets you give a tip of $1 or $2 on each video. That makes a big difference as well in the creation of these videos. I just want to say thank you for all your support and love over the years. Thank you to all my VIP Club members. You truly do make a difference, and without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I do want to say thank you, VIP Club members. You make all of this possible every week for me to keep doing this. As always, make sure to go down. Don't forget to give this video a like and a thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification. I truly hope all of you enjoyed this today and that you have a blessed day. And I've always got something new and exciting coming out very soon.